Manipur is on the boil, and the tragedy is that it is barely making the national headlines. Who will heal Manipur's broken heart? Who will erase the line, the invisible line that has been drawn across the heart of the state? Is it time for president's rule? Will that be a solution? I'm Barkha Dutt, you're with the Mojo story. Our focus today is on the strife-torn state of Manipur. For the last few days, we have seen the state erupt in violence. We have seen controversy, conflict. We have seen both the Kuki and the Meitei community make contested claims about who is responsible for whose killing. And in the midst of this all, we have seen young children and women swept up in this conflict, including infants and toddlers. What happens next? Let me welcome to the program two very differing perspectives, but we'll try and see if we can find any kind of middle ground. Glady, Vaiphei, who's of course a prominent member of the Kuki community, a leader of a community, is with us. Glady, welcome to the program. And also joining us is Hijam, Rajen. He's a prominent leader of his community, the Meitei community. Namaskar, Hijam Saab, and welcome to both of you. I will start with you, Glady. The fact is that for people outside Manipur, this has now become a very complex situation to understand because both communities have such differing accounts of what happened. The Meitei community points to a young infant among 6, who include women, who were missing and then their bodies are found in a river killed. The Kuki community calls the 10 men killed from their community heroes. The security forces calls them suspected militants and releases images of ammunition and weapons to prove their point. What is happening, and more importantly, how do we move beyond this?
Barkha, good evening. And it is very unfortunate what happened in Manipur. Almost 19 months have passed, there is no solution. And instead of finding a solution, more and more victims, have surfaced. Even in the recent one, if we see the 10 boys that got killed, very, very unfortunate. That how all of them died. If it is an encounter, then what about the other side? Why 10? And also, if you look at the bodies of all those bodies, it's definitely not just shot at sight or an encounter. It was captured, tortured, and the heinous crime was committed. Brutality was seen in their bodies. The eyes
but
were
that
all
is
brought
sorry.
out. And then,
sorry to interrupt you, but the CRPF account of this incident is that a CRPF camp came under attack and a light machine gun that was propped on top of a multi-purpose vehicle, an MPV, that fired, and that's why all 10 died on the spot. They deny
that is their side of the story. Yes, Barkha, that is their side of the story. We also have a survivor among the boys. We will be taking his videos right now. He is going through a medical treatment, mentally so traumatized. Then when he is better, we will also get his statements. You have to see both the side of the statement, and if you look at why was CRPF put in the first place, we always requested Assam Rifle to guard us. If you look at why was the violence erupted so big time, this is like when Assam Rifle was removed against our wish, because we know that when Assam Rifle was guarding us, there was no new incident. Everybody was in our own place. The moment the CRPF is brought in, they were always in the valley. Now they have moved to the hills. Definitely, they cannot control the hills. So we have to see even the survivor testimony also in few days' time. And apart from whatever is going on, we are always bothered with what is happening, instead of concentrating on why it happened in the first place, why Manipur violence happened, why the genocide started, why the pogrom started in the first place. If you look at Biren and his militia, they started all these things. And it is also a very pre-planned and premeditated violence. Don't think it is a two-community violence. If you look at why does this happen, the land, definitely. The natural resources that we all know is sold. That is everywhere.
Okay.
We all know that.
Okay.
And
okay.
also, the land is very, very precious to the tribal.
Let's get to the bigger points of conflict in a while. Let's first look at the immediate situation. Hijam ji, आपसे पूछना चाहूंगी, Meitei community में बहुत tragic बच्चे और औरतें उनमें शामिल हैं, बहुत भारी एक लॉस हुआ है। और क्या लफ्ज हैं जब जो कहते हैं ना, अंग्रेजी में कहते हैं the smallest coffins are the heaviest. तो how do you assess the situation today, Hijam ji?
बरखा जी नमस्कार, और आपके दर्शकों को सबको नमस्कार। एक निहत्थे लोगों को अपहरण करके उनका हत्या करना उससे ज्यादा जघन्य अपराध मानवीय इतिहास में मैंने पहले बार देखा है। मैं कभी जिंदगी में ऐसे कभी देखा नहीं है। दूसरा चीज, मणिपुर की जो सिचुएशन आज पूरा, अब किसी भी जगह पर देख लीजिएगा, चारों तरफ से जो वैली एरिया जो है उनको पैक करके, यानी कि नेशनल हाईवे को 1 साल 9 महीने से बंद करके रखा हुआ है। ये ह्यूमन राइट्स का एक वायलेशन है। मणिपुर सबसे ज्यादा इंटरनेट बंद करने वाला के बाद मणिपुर एक इतिहास में दर्ज है। दिस इज वायलेशन ऑफ ह्यूमन राइट्स। जो 6 महिलाओं, बच्चे और महिलाओं को जो पकड़ के उनको जो उनके जो हत्या जो है, एक मुझे ऐसे लगता है कि भारत के इतिहास में आज तक ऐसे हुआ नहीं है। अगर उसमें प्राइम मिनिस्टर और मिस्टर होम मिनिस्टर मिस्टर अमित शाह इंटरवीन इमीडिएटली, दैट दे मे बी सेव अ लाइफ, बट अनफॉर्चुनेटली आज भी एक डेड बॉडी मिला है सिलचर एरिया में, बराक रिवर में। वेरी अनफॉर्चुनेट। एंड हमारा जो मैडम मिस ग्लाइडी said that their 10 heroes have been killed by the CRPF. We should not categorize who should guard Manipur or who should not, because the Assam Rifle is one of the oldest paramilitary forces in India. Then CRPF is one of the strongest paramilitary forces in India. Both are commanding by the Mr. Home Minister, under the Home Minister. Who should guard it? Who should deploy? Who should not be deployed? That means you may have the holy nexus, a very unholy nexus with Assam Rifles and the Kuki militants. It is doubted by the peoples of the Manipur. No doubt, anybody, unarmed people killing by anyone is condemnable, either from the Meitei side or Kuki side. You know, the suspension of operation should be withdrawn from Manipur. We have seen that many newspapers have been published, and Congress also alleged that the 14.95 crore has been granted to infuse to the Kuki militants for their survival, and they are getting the stipend at 6,000 or 10,000 rupees per month. Why it is?
Okay, I think that we should be able to agree, both Glady and Hijam ji, that unarmed children and women have no place in being attacked, whether they're from the Kuki community or the Meitei community. I think we can all agree on this, but yet it is happening. It is happening. It started with that. We are in the middle of that, right? From the very beginning, women's bodies have become a battlefield. And even today, it is the same situation, and there is suffering in both communities. I want to ask you, what now? President's rule. Is that an answer? Hijam ji, is president's rule an answer? Phir Glady, same question to you. Hijam ji, president's rule hona chahiye kya?
Miss Barkha, the Mr. Biren is totally spineless. Mr. Biren is commanded by Mr. Narendra Modi or Mr. Amit Shah. The chronology of Mr. Narendra Modi and Amit Shah is violence. Nowadays, once upon a time, Mr. Narendra Modi said the Gujarat model. Now the peoples are from the behind. Peoples are saying the Manipur's model. Let me take you the few years back. Mr. Ram Madhav have been in Kashmir before that amendment of the Article 370, some clauses. After that, he came to the Manipur. He stationed to the Manipur for a long time. Then Mr. Rajesh Sethi, one highest ranking of the RSS thinker, he is stationed in Manipur as an advisor to the chief minister of the Mr. Biren. We smell that some of the conspiracies going between the two communities, the organization of the RSS. But they are supporting to the both communities, because what we see that, see, once upon a time, before this conflict, the Kuki and the Meitei had intermarriage. We had love, affection, each other. Then suddenly, how the conflicts had been started. Okay, that's okay. Since 1980, they have been demanding for the separate Kuki state. We follow that. That is the democratic demand. Democratic demand. Being an Indian, they must demand it. I don't views on their demand. They must demand it. But that is a democratic. That should be in a democratic manner. They should demand one under constituency, under constitution. See, the Telangana have been, given the full-fledged the state. The Uttarakhand have been given. Jharkhand has been given. They had their own, in a democratic demand was there. We we are Indian. We are in under the Indian Constitution. So yes, being we are in the democratic country, that should be the democratic process. But the violence is totally condemnable, either from the Meitei or from the Kuki. The violence should not be happen. We are developing. We are in the developing country. This is not a Nigeria or, the Manipur, the Imphal Valley is just like the Gaza Strip, which the Israel is uh, doing in the Palestine, just like that. So the Manipur Imphal Valley is we similar to the Gaza Strip. Since 1 year, 9 months is almost going, the both three national highways are blocked by the Kuki militants. See, the essential commodities, drugs, I mean, the medicines, the foods item.
Okay.
If
I think you've said a lot about the BJP. I think you've said a lot about the BJP, but I think my question was a larger question. Is President's rule going to change anything? Because at one level, Hijam, you said if the Prime Minister and Amit Shah had intervened, then maybe the 6 lives of the Meitei community, the children and the women, could have been saved. Glady, will President's rule change anything?
Barkha, that we've been asking for president rule from day one, for the benefit of both the community. And after 19 months, the same question is asked today. It is quite shameless. Had the president rule been granted when the violence started, yes, many lives would have been spared today. And we only talk about the Meitei life, the Meitei women, the Meitei children. Let's not forget what happened to the Kuki women also. Look at the video that went viral, paraded naked. What about Olivia and Florence? That was given by Meira Paibi to be raped and killed. Eventually, their dead body was found. What about baby Hang Sing? When you talk about the suffering of Meitei, yes, the Kuki suffer a lot more than the Meitei. And also, the president rule, if it has to happen, who will decide? Like the other, he mentioned that the chief minister is spineless. If chief minister is spineless, according to him, why not remove him? Why not remove him? And also, every time his audio has to be, audio leak has to be scanned in Supreme Court and other places. Some new violence keep erupting. If you look at first time also, like unnecessary drawn topic was picked up to just, hide the voice, scrutiny of the chief minister voice. And then recently, when Zhou Sang Kim incident happened again before hearing of the Supreme Court. And now let's see on the 25th, it's coming up. So every time Biren Singh has to be put, to be scanned, violence erupted in the valley and as well as in the hills, and also economic blockade. As far as I know, that all goods are going through and no blockage is there, and also there is no cookies or who get 10,000 rupees per month. I don't see anybody who's getting 10,000 per month. If you cannot prove it, don't lie on here on the national TV, because I am in touch with the victim. If president rule has to be applied, then the country has to shout, because 19 months is a long time. People are suffering. Not only the Meitei, even the I'm sure even the Naga side are also suffering in Manipur violence. And such a great country that we are, why can't we just stop the violence first? If president rule has to be the reason, why not try out for 6 months? Let's try out for 6 months. If it is benefiting, we can extend also. Until and unless we try out, how do we know that it's going to be effective?
But how do you respond to Hijam ji's point that the suspension of operations against the Kuki Sioux groups, that should be called off? Start there.
See, first of all, before we even talk about Sioux, let's recover all those arms and weapons, the 7,000 plus that was looted, that is roaming around in Imphal Valley. Sioux is always under the government watch. Let's not talk about it. Let's talk about the recent incident, what happened to all those arms and weapons that's looted in the valley. They want to dig something that is really long, that is already handled by the government. I don't think Sioux and all the problem at the moment, which is already talked with the government, is going on before even the violence happened. Let's talk about something that really triggered this whole violence in Manipur. The lawlessness of the government. How let's talk about even the state was summoned by this Arambai Tengol in Kangla Fort. We know that if the state become the enemy of the citizen, who is supposed to look after the citizen, and the state is no spine. Let's dissolve the state. Let's bring in president rule and let's try out. And Sioux is not the problem at the moment. Like I said, the dialogue has started before even the violence. And just to hide the real problem, let's not talk about Sioux here.
Hijam ji, Glady says Sioux is not the point. That is not the point. The conflict runs deeper. What do you say?
Barkha ji, Sioux is a very problem because behind the Sioux, the activities are unwanted activities are going on. See, the hills area, the poppy cultivations, and the number of that drugs cartel. This is the problem. Isn't this is not? That will not only happen to the Manipur. That will not only affect to the Manipur. Barkha ji, that effect may come to the Delhi, where I'm sitting here. That maybe
Yes.
come to the Uttar Pradesh. There may be that may be your children. That may be my children. That's more than the 70,000 people from the both communities are in the relief camp, which is one in the one common toilet, common kitchen, and common bedroom to share with others. This is very big problem. This must be understood by both communities leader. They must come on the table to talk dialogue, start a dialogue. See, the Barkha, the president's role. The president rule means that should be commanded by the Indian Army. The Indian Army do not speak. They take action by the gun. My humbly request to the both community and to the citizen of this country, the gun cannot bring peace. Gun only can pieces. So the political dialogue must be there. Both communities, the leader of the both communities should come out. Even I think years ago, I met Miss Glady also in somewhere in the Jantar Mantar. I requested them, Miss Glady and I forgot her name, that she is very nearby my resident in Delhi. Her husband was very good, my friend, before he died. After 1 month, the conflicts had been started. Before that conflict, we had family relation with Miss Joe. No, still we love them. We have in Delhi, in my society, the two Kuki sisters are there. They have own property in Delhi. In my society, I always, being my society with flatmate. So I, really I feel very pain. So president rule means that will be commanded by the Indian Army. Indian Army never speak. They take action by their,
Okay, let's get Glady.
And just let me just for a few seconds. See, the boots and banners should not be in the colony. That boots and banners should be in the border to guard the border. So this should be the political dialogue.
So you don't think I've understood. You are saying that the army should be at the border. The army is not the solution, and you feel the president's rule would give the army more power. As I see it, Glady, the president's rule would actually give the center direct control. Obviously, Hijam ji is not a fan of the Biren Singh government, and nor are you. But both of you disagree on everything else. How do you respond? And I have to end then. How do you respond to his point that politically this matter has to be solved? There has to be an intra-dialogue among the people of the state.
I think Barkha Hijam is afraid that if the center forces are brought in, if the center take control over the state, he's afraid that all those armory that is looted will be taken from them. I think he's very afraid of those because we have seen Imphal Valley flooded with guns. Everyone is carrying guns. Maybe he's afraid of that. I am not afraid of the army coming.
But there are guns. But there are guns because there are guns held by civilians in both communities.
Yes. So my point is, if center take control over, that's what I'm saying. Let's try for 6 months and see how it works. I am in for president rule because the state, if it cannot look after, the center has to step in. We have to depend on the center. The problem is going on for almost 19 months. Then the state definitely cannot look after, nor the Meitei. And they may say whatever they say on the TV, but at the end of the day, they cannot run the state. So Biren has to step in. The president role has to be brought in.
Okay, I have to end. Hijam ji, जब आप कहते हैं कि political solution होना चाहिए, उसको lead कौन करेगा? You need an environment where that political dialogue can happen, no? Hijam ji?
See, we like to invite them on the table. They must come in the middle way. See, the Meitei community should take 2 steps back, and you take 2 steps back, and let the third party come, and somewhere, wherever that according to the official procedure, either in Delhi or in Guwahati, the process can be started. If you are not talking with us or we are not talking with you, that the solution cannot come. Even whatever you Miss Glady said, if the gun or somewhat, if the central army rule comes in there may be nothing there. See, still the government is running, the police is there, NI is there, CBI is there. So
I think the problem, Hijamji, with respect, is that guns will not fall silent on their own. Guns have to be made to fall silent.
Barkha, we have experienced a lot of the armed forces special power since 1958 in a JNK in the northeast.
Yes, I hear what you're saying. I agree with you that the solution eventually has to be political. But in the short term, we need a restoration of law and order. That is the most important thing. We need institutions to work. We need dialogue can only come after that. But we are out of time. We'll have to leave it there. To Hijam, Rajen, to Glady, Vaiphei, thank you. What a grim and terrible situation in Manipur. My heart goes out to the people of Manipur, Kuki, Meitei, or any other community. I really... Manipur needs a Mahatma Gandhi, but before a Mahatma Gandhi, you need law and order. That is the truth. You need law and order, you need institutional efficiency, and you need accountability. I think that much we can all agree on. To Glady ji and Hijam ji, thank you so much. And we'll keep following Manipur, even if the rest of the media is not. Take care. Thank you, and see you soon. Thank you. It's great to see you here. Thank you for watching our work. If you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to click the bell icon and subscribe to Voter Story and support independent, robust journalism.